Classic Game Center. Today we're going to be doing Othello for the Atari 2600. Now, some people might be familiar with the board game Othello. This is the Atari 2600 version of it. Othello is a pretty simple game, and it's one of those games that is easy to learn, incredibly difficult to master. The object of Othello is to flip your opponent's colors, in this case your opponent's squares, and the actual board game version, their little discs, to your color. And you do this by setting your piece in line with another set of your pieces, so that way you basically have your opponent's pieces surrounded, essentially. It's kind of hard to describe, but you can kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to say by watching the video here. Now, I'm playing white, and the Atari 2600 is playing as black. Now, there's a few different strategies when playing Othello. One of the most important is to try and go after the corners. If you can control the corners, usually you're going to win, because the corners are the most difficult, are the only completely safe places from being flipped. If you control all the corners, then you're going to be in control of the entire game, and therefore your opponent really won't stand a chance. So normally when I play, I try to aim for the corners as best as I can. Now, the thing with Othello is that, as I mentioned, it's easy to learn, very difficult to master. Anyone who's played the actual board game will know what I'm talking about. It's one of those games that is constantly a challenge. It's very strategic, and it never gets old either, because there's so many different ways to play it, lots and lots of strategy, and I think that ultimately it's truly a great game. And the Atari 2600 version here is a brilliant translation of it. It's exactly like the board game. It captures the spirit and the feeling of it completely. It doesn't just use the name and then give you a ton of different variations. You basically have 3 different versions. You have an easy version, a medium version, and then the most difficult version. And you have the ability to go up against an opponent. So there's, the classic Atari variety in there. However, even on the easy level, the computer can be a challenge if you haven't played in a while. Like, when I first was playing this game, I tried it on the easy, and the computer absolutely killed me. No lie, the computer killed me. However, now I'm getting a little bit better at Othello, so as you can see here, I'm actually doing a pretty decent job of beating the computer. So, as I said, Othello is a great game. If you enjoy the board game and don't always have somebody to play Othello against, this would be an excellent alternative. The other thing would be is if you've never played Othello and you want to see what it's all about, you can pick this game up for a few dollars. It's really cheap these days, and it's just a great strategy game. I can't say enough good things about it. It's so simple yet incredibly deep. It's a game that anyone can play. So I hope that you enjoyed this review, and stay tuned for more, and stay classic.